Hello and welcome into another edition of the Sun Devil Source 2-Minute Drill presented by our good friends over at Jones Auto Centers. That's our Sun Devil Source publisher, Chris Cartman. I'm Jacob Brooks. Day 2 here out in the Payson Pines at Camp Tontozona. Chris, yesterday Kenny Dillingham intentionally said ASU had a lighter day on day 1 with the idea of day 2 at Camp T being arguably ASU's most physical and intense practice of the entirety of fall camp. I asked him if that standard was met. He said yes. Do you agree with that? What did you make of the physicality today?
It was definitely in the top 2 or 3 most physical practices they've had so far. Montana Warren would probably agree. He had a big hit to end the practice. Yeah. He's had a very good camp overall. They installed a lot of like Sparky formation or Wildcat, formation, whatever you want to call it. Direct snaps to the running backs, and but they were live. They had a lot of guys making plays in the backfield that were physical. A lot of loud celebrations on some of these things. There was a Kyan McDonald had a hit as the ball arrived that knocked the ball into the air. Owen Long recovered, caught it, intercepted, went for a touchdown. Yeah. So I would agree this was one of the more physical practices they've had. It was one of the more fun practices that they had as an observation standpoint, just all the things that we saw out there.
And Chris, one of the things that you could not take your eyes off today was Reed Harris. Multiple big plays with Omarion Miller dealing with what Kenny Dillingham said was just kind of rest and recovery, managing his workload. Reed Harris basically put on the Superman cape today. Yeah. What did you make of how Reed looked?
Yeah, he caught a deep post for a touchdown. That was like his biggest play of camp so far. He had a little quieter first week than what happened in the spring. Yeah. And then he erupted today with 2 big long touchdowns, 38-yarder, and then like another one that was maybe even a little bit longer than that. Second one was on Rodney Bimage, great route. So the beast has awakened, I guess is the way I would put that. With Miller out, as you said, Reed Harris had his best day. Okay, great. He's now in line to do a lot of the things that were expected of him.
And Chris, we've had a lot of dialogue about those big name wide receivers, the quarterback battle, the guys on defense that have been shining like the corners. Who are some kind of more under the radar guys that have frankly been looking very strong here at Camp T, but also just throughout the entirety of fall that we haven't had the chance to talk about as much on a lot of these 2-minute drills?
Yeah, I would say at receiver, Uriah Nellums and Corey Butler. Uriah Nellums is a guy who has NFL upside, in my opinion. He made several impressive catches today. He's kind of like an understudy to Reed Harris. Yeah. Second-year player. A year from now, he's probably doing a lot more solidly in the rotation. I think Corey Butler's like a very good blocker. He's a reliable player. He harkens back to like a Melquan Stovall in 2024, but maybe a little bit better athlete. Probably even with the receivers, I probably should throw out Jaron Hamilton. I think he's made more plays that are a diversity of types of skills than last year, and he was more of a go ball threat. Mekhi Stewart, we have not talked about him nearly enough. I think he is one of the most physical offensive guards that I've ever seen covering ASU. I think he has a high-end draft stock that's really impressive. I think Jermaine Mitchell has made a lot of strides coming from the spring until now. Defensively, I would say Tristan Bacon has made a huge jump. His body's in a lot better shape. He's darting and explosive, but strong, physical, well-leveraged player, so he's done really well. Albert Smith had a pretty good day today, chasing into the backfield. Some of the other players have told me that he's the most athletic guy on the defense. Last year was a little bit disappointing in terms of him not maximizing some opportunities that he's had, but he seems like he's kind of ready to do that. Kyan McDonald gets slept on a little bit too much. He had the play I mentioned earlier, and every time that he's on the field, he seems to do something that stands out, and he's a little bit bigger, stronger, more physical, I would say. There's probably others, but those are the ones that really kind of pop and come to mind.
Well, that'll just about do it for this Sun Devil Source 2-minute drill. The rain clouds coming in. There was a good fan turnout today, so we appreciate everybody that said hi to us. Kenny Dillingham said he's expecting over 4,000 fans on Saturday, so it'll be a lighter practice for ASU tomorrow. Then the Camp Tontozona scrimmage Saturday morning. We'll have all the coverage you need. And if you want to know even more about how this has been going, we're going to be recording a members-exclusive podcast later today. So if you're not already tapped in on the Devil Sanctuary, I don't know what to tell you. We're going to have a lot to talk about later today. Thank you for tuning into this 2-minute drill, and we hope you all have a good one.